You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, Cleburne County, Stone, Izard, Baxter, Fulton counties, and even more development in southwest Arkansas. Now this line is beginning to come together, Nathan. It looks as if we've been waiting on a line. It's been broken apart, and now it seems to be coming together, and it's holding together. Some very impressive lightning with these thunderstorms tonight.
Lots of lightning along with that potential continues to be damaging winds, Tom. As we take a look, we're going to go to our high resolution radar. We're going to zoom into some of the localities that have the highest potential of seeing severe weather and some strongest winds. So we'll work our way from North Arkansas down towards southwest Arkansas. So first of all, we've got Searcy County, Marshall, into Stone County under that severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15 to 12:45. So Leslie through Timbo, Mountain View, you're seeing some very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and also some gusty winds, 40, 50, maybe as high as 60 miles per hour. We'll take a look at those winds in just 1 second. Lots of lightning now happening approaching Clinton, along with some torrential downpours, and that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended into Cleburne County, no surprise. So Greers Ferry, Heber Springs, all is quiet right now, but that will be changing getting into the next 20 to 30 minutes. So batten down the hatches because you've got some nasty weather headed in your direction. Again, this is primarily a damaging wind threat. Not seeing too much in the form of hail and not seeing too much in the form of rotation with this line. That's some good news. However, we still can't rule out there could be a quick, brief spin-up tornado embedded within the line. Look at all this lightning. If you're watching us in Atkins, Morrilton, if you've got the kids that are scared of lightning, scared of thunderstorms like I was scared of storms until I was like 12, 13 years old. Got into my parents' room and hid underneath the bed. Yeah, I was that scared. Now I'm pretty fascinated with weather. But anyway, it's certainly creating a ruckus in Polk County, in Conway County. This is approaching Faulkner County, Greenbrier, Conway. You're next in line. So get ready because the winds will be picking up, the lightning, thunder, it's all coming in your direction. And then on down the line, we're starting to see development into Perry County. And then we've got the newest severe thunderstorm warning that was issued into eastern parts of Polk County, moving into Montgomery County. So there is the newest severe thunderstorm warning, a lot of lightning with that, affecting Pine Ridge into Hogjaw, Odin. We got Pencil Bluff, pretty close to Alf. Love that show. And this is moving off to the east-northeast. So all this is traveling its way off to the east-northeast, about 50 to 55 miles per hour. And once this line moves through, you're done with the threat of severe weather. But like Tom said, we're still watching this line continue to develop through southwest Arkansas. So switching over to the Shreveport radar, and there's more storms. I didn't put the lightning on this one, but let me just add that so you guys can see what we're looking at with how much lightning that is producing. And a lot of lightning starting to approach Texarkana. So it's been quiet into Howard County, Hempstead, Nevada, into Dallas County, but your turn is coming. This line of storms is heading your direction. It's probably going to take another hour and a half to 2.5 hours to reach your location, but you'll also have some rough weather heading your direction. Again, damaging winds are the main concern. Tom, I'm going to switch things over here, and we're going to take a look at the timeline because we've adjusted a little bit, but we want to give people on the heads up of where the severe weather threat is over.
And it's some good news. If you happen to be picking us up and you live in western and northwestern Arkansas, the severe weather threat has ended for you folks. So the good news here is you can go to bed. If you live in Fayetteville, if you live up around Harrison, now Fort Smith, a little bit of a different story. You know, earlier tonight, we were on at 10 o'clock with a tornado warning for Sebastian, Crawford, Franklin counties. There was an apparent tornado touchdown near Van Buren and Alma. So they have been checking things out here. We've had reports of damage to the Crawford County Courthouse, of which you will see more pictures coming up a little later this morning here on THV 11 this morning with meteorologist Scott Covert and Corrales Ortiz. That complex, that cluster of storms is moving into central Arkansas. It's pretty much over the top of the Clinton area, Mountain Home, southward to near Hot Springs, getting closer to you in Garland and Montgomery counties, and that line extends into southwest Arkansas. Another couple of hours before it shifts into eastern Arkansas. But by far, the area of concern that we're watching the most is over north central Arkansas. Now, there is a flare-up in northeast Texas, the Arklatex area here, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas, where we have some stronger storms. Getting some questions from folks. Hey, if you're watching us tonight, thank you so much for tuning in on Facebook. Just take a look at where the warnings are located. And once these warnings, I think it's safe to say we're probably looking pretty good now for Johnson and parts of Pope and Newton counties, Nathan. Madison County, Logan County, got that one cell here that's in Montgomery County, and it's not moving to the east, it's taking a jog to the north. But it's a part of that line that continues to come together here in Polk County, out of southwest Arkansas into southeastern Oklahoma. So Montgomery County, storms are nearby and neighborly, getting closer to Garland County, and now getting some development even a little farther to the east and in Perry County. But strongest activity right now, Conway County, northward into, Van Buren and Stone and Izard counties. All right. We've had a lot of storm fuel today. Look at these dew points. They're beginning to drop off a little in western Arkansas behind that line, but ahead of that line, we still have copious amounts of moisture to work with, some heavy rain, a lot of instability as well today. Temperatures were very summer-like. We made it into the middle to upper 80s.
77.
What's 77 a little
77, and it's midnight. I mean,
midnight and 77.
Our average high is
about
77.
Yeah, 77.
Yeah. That's what
Well,
should be
we've
around
reached-
4
we've-
o'clock in the afternoon.
We've reached our high for the day. I think it's probably going to drop off from there. But the good news is we are seeing rain-cooled conditions, stabilizing conditions from northwest Arkansas. All right, so those are your current numbers. And again, we've probably got another couple of 3 hours to go in north central and central Arkansas with that line of storms moving across. But Nathan noticed something, that it seems to have accelerated a bit moving through north central Arkansas. Marshall, Leslie, down to Clinton, Conway County, Morrilton, Russellville, Pope County, Yell County near Danville, storms continuing there. But yeah, looks like things are beginning better. Although it's raining, things are much better, and the severe threat is ending in northwest Arkansas.
See, it's got like this boomerang shape, Tom.
Yeah, backward C.
And backward C, boomerang, whatever you want to call it. In the weather community, we call it a bow echo. And that basically tells us meteorologists that yes, it's got a lot of heavy rain, yes, it's got a lot of lightning, but this is a damaging wind threat. This is not so much a tornado threat, this is a damaging wind threat. However, straight line winds can still be just as destructive as a weak spin-up tornado. So just keep that in mind. We're not seeing much in the form of damage reports where this line has made its way through it. But I bet, Bradford pears, they probably took a beating tonight because those are the worst trees to have. I'm just going to say it right now. They're terrible, and they don't belong anywhere in the United States. In fact, there's a push to get rid of all of them.
Right.
But
They don't smell good either.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they're pretty to look at, but you get like a 20-mile-per-hour gust, and you
They're
get
gonna
the
split.
tree that splits in half or something like that.
Yeah.
So Bradford pears are probably falling all over the place in this line. But anyway, yeah, batten down the hatches if you're in this location from Danville. Russellville, things are starting to quiet down for you, but now it's moving into Morrilton. It's moving through Clinton. It'll be approaching Faulkner County into Cleburne County, Stone County. You're next in line, and then eventually Izard County, and all the way up through Marion, Baxter, and eventually into northeast Arkansas. But this is where the Storm Prediction Center, and this is where we thought the highest risk of severe weather would be located. And we talked about it was pretty much going to be damaging winds and also large hail. It was large hail when it first started to erupt in Oklahoma with a few tornadoes, but then as everything came together and these individual cells congealed into a line of storms, which we have right now, that's when the mode switches over from a large hail to a tornado threat over to more of a damaging wind threat. Wind gusts 60, 70, maybe as high as 80 miles per hour, still a possibility as this line continues to charge its way off to the east-northeast, about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So let me put a storm track on this so folks at home can get a perspective on, all right, when can we expect the worst of the weather to arrive? I'm going to erase the red line here.
Right. While you do that, I'm going to mention this new warning that's been issued for Baxter, Fulton, Izard, Marion, Searcy, and Stone counties. This cluster of counties up here till 12:45.
All right, so we're going to say the wind is right about here. We're just going to do a rough estimate. But if this is going 50 to 55 miles per hour, well, let me try that again because that did not work out as expected. So just let me go ahead and try this one more time.
Jay Lynn is asking how long before people in Russellville and Pope County cannot worry anymore. And Jay Lynn, while he's getting that ready, here's Pope County right here, Russellville, Dover, Hector. That strong thunderstorm is just about out of Pope County. Give it another 20 to 30 minutes. It should be out of your way. And then it moves into Conway County.
The worst of the wind is now out of that part of Pope County. So it's moving through East Pope County at this time. So
you're kind of giving us an idea, for those of you at home. He's given us an idea as to where this bow echo, where the wind is going to be the strongest in this bow echo here down the line. And these are the counties, or the communities, I should say, that will be affected. Conway 1233, Heber Springs 1240, Perryville 1216. That's 3 minutes away from you, Perryville. Mayflower, Valonia 1246 to 1249. And it looks like it's going to be some pretty gusty straight line winds.
And a lot of lightning. I mean, if people are not up right now, they will certainly be up in Faulkner County and White County, because that is a lot of lightning. Let's just take a look at the lightning in general, because that shows really the strength of a storm. We're just going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in here to Van Buren County and into Conway County, and we'll take a look at the lightning strikes over the past 10 minutes within the box, the red box, and look at that number. Almost 700 lightning strikes within the counties of Pope, Van Buren, and Conway in the past 10 minutes. That is quite a light show. Mother Nature is not messing around with all that lightning. It's probably really interesting to look at if you are, a lightning photographer or something like that. But if you're scared of storms, your heart's racing quite a bit.
While we're thinking about this, something else cool to look at. Before we left the last time, storm tops, echo tops. How high up are these thunderstorms, Nathan? You've got a nifty product that will show us just how tall these thunderstorm tops are. And they're pretty darn tall. And I'll let you pull it up here, 40 to 50,000 feet up. There you go. Oh,
let me see if I can query that for you just 1 second here.
Sure thing.
56,000 feet.
That's got some height to it there.
So
how many miles is that?
Well, Mount Everest is what?
32,000, something like that.
25, 32,000. I mean,
That's
you think
a tall
about
thunderstorm.
How high a plane goes, about 35,000 feet when you're flying in a plane. So
plane wouldn't be able to fly over this.
No, you want to go around. You do not want to fly through something like that. That's going to be turbulence, pretty nasty. So,
and a lot of this is due to the fact that we had plenty of storm fuel today, instability that had built up through the course of the day, from yesterday through the day today, all of it. And then you get a cold front or some upper level energy plowing into it and forcing it up. That's the result. You get these tall thunderstorm tops, and the higher up you go, it gets colder, so some hail is possible, at least big hail, but it falls through the thunderstorm and eventually melts. So haven't had many hail reports tonight. It's been mainly wind and wind damage. A new severe thunderstorm warning for Polk County till 1 o'clock in the morning. That just came across, and we've got the one for Baxter, Fulton, Izard, Marion, Searcy, and Stone counties. But lots of wind with these thunderstorms from near Cleveland, Arkansas down to Morrilton and Adona. Look at that, Morrilton. If this is true, just a couple of thousand feet off the ground, 75 mile per hour straight line winds.
Yeah, the radar beam is getting that data about 2,500 feet above the surface, but looking at the signature of radar, I do expect to see wind gusts 40, 50, 60, maybe as high as 70 miles per hour. And that's probably going to cause some power outages moving through Conway County, and that line is barreling its way towards Faulkner County. So Faulkner County, you're next in line. You've got the winds whipping through Conway County, Morrilton right now, and where those blues are, that's where the gustiest winds are located. So certainly Petit Jean, winds whipping around in that part of the state. Opelo, we've got Plumerville, Soglahachie, Hattieville, Wonderview. Anywhere you see this blue, that shows us, when you look at the chart, we're approaching pretty much that severe weather criteria when the winds get up to 58 miles per hour or greater in that blue area. And that's a wide area taking over Conway County, and that's where the strongest winds are located at this time for that severe thunderstorm warning.
If we can, Nathan, we're getting a lot of people asking us how things are going and how soon will the storms be here. Places like Quitman. Quitman's right about in this general area here. Quitman down to Conway. They're wanting to know, do we need to get in our storm shelter? I would certainly think about getting in our safe place, especially with this ball of wind headed your way. So, and that's the last several folks have been asking the question that live in north central Arkansas, from Quitman to down to Guy, Greenbrier, Conway. This complex of storms is not far from you. Probably within the next, let's say 10 to 15 minutes. At the speed that it's moving, it's going to be affecting your community. So I would go ahead, if you feel like you need to, go ahead and hit your storm shelter or your safe place. You are going to be under a severe thunderstorm warning, and the primary hazard is going to be damaging wind.
I'm looking at the rotation product on Storm Track 11, Tom, because we always look at that, and that really is, it's a great product in terms of the computer figures out where the highest rotation level is located. So if we can go to Storm Track 11, if that's possible. This is from the Little Rock radar now, and you see these little bands of blue. When you see ribbons or lines like that, that's more of a damaging wind threat. When you have an isolated area of blue, especially going to green, then you're starting to get more concerned about, all right, this is starting to show some rotation in this cell, and there possibly could be a tornado at any time. But right now, I'm seeing the strongest winds, most likely right between Greenbrier and also Wooster. So those winds right there in that part of Faulkner County could be as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. That is a possibility, even though right technically they're not under the severe thunderstorm warning just yet.
Oh, they're not.
We'll just have to watch out for that. But that wall of wind is moving into that part of the county. Switch back over to the winds
from Shirley, Fairfield Bay, the leading edge. That's what we're talking about. That's where you're finding some very gusty winds.
And we just have to watch out for those kinks. That's what we have to watch out for. Any little kinks that you see with the blue and the reds coming together, those little kinks I'm seeing, we just have to watch out for those, because that could be a sign of maybe something quick trying to spin up.
Yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And again, just try to keep, hey, you know what, folks? There's not a tornado warning. This is a big wind event that's going to be moving through your area tonight. If you feel comfortable going to your safe place with a severe thunderstorm warning, then go ahead and do so before it gets into your location, especially if you have to go outside to go to your storm shelter. So we're getting a lot of folks. Hey, Conway in Faulkner County, Sierra wants to know when. It's closing in on you now, Sierra. Tumbling Shoals up in Cleburne County area, they can hear the thunder and see the lightning. And my phone's getting ready to die on me, but I guess I need to plug it in, right? Make sure you have your phone plugged in and ready to go. I'm just going to leave this aside right here. I might need that later, but it happens to the best of us, I'll tell you. So here's Greenbrier, Faulkner County, Conway. You can see that strong thunderstorm is moving right over you. Severe thunderstorm warning. Here's the box, severe thunderstorm warning. Now here's some good news. Severe thunderstorm warnings have been canceled for Conway, Perry, Pope, and Yell counties. That's excellent news. Also, Little Rock has expired the one for Montgomery, Polk, and Scott counties. So that would be back in this general area here. So that's good news, Nathan, that we're seeing some weakening on the southern flank of that line.
Yep, we still have some new development, though, into Polk County. So you see that red right around Wicks and Vandervoort into southwestern parts of Polk County, and that's moving off to the northeast, so we have to watch out for that because that cell's by itself. We still have the significant tornado parameters in play. Again, and this is primarily damaging wind threat, but there are enough ingredients that any storm could try to rotate. We'll just have to keep a close eye on that situation. The storms extend all the way down into northeast Texas. These are all moving off to the east-northeast, so a lot of folks are going to see some heavy rain, some lightning and thunder through the course of the overnight. But really, it looks like the main part of the strongest cell is going to be the one in Polk County, but also what's still happening right through Van Buren County, marching its way into Cleburne County. It's made its way through Newton County, and now it's moving through Searcy County, entering Stone County. So it's pretty much out of pretty much almost out of Searcy County, moving into Stone County. Let's go over to the graphics now, weather graphics, and you can see how many of those warnings we've really lost, Tom.
Yeah,
which is some good news.
Good news right in this general area, right through central Arkansas. So somebody can rest easy, can breathe easy here in Conway, Faulkner, and Perry counties. Those warnings have either been expired or they've been canceled. They were for Conway, Perry, and Pope and Yell counties here in central Arkansas. Still some strong storms, but the thought is that they've dropped below severe levels.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of lightning. That still has a lot of people concerned. Totally understand that. You see all those lightning bolts, and once again, we can query this. Let's just query it from Cleveland all the way to Springfield, down through Greenbrier, and see how many lightning strikes are within this area in the past 10 minutes. Almost 400 lightning strikes in that small area. And when I say small area, we can take a look of how many square miles it would be. So that's 18 by 15. So it's a small area, but that's a loud event happening right now in Conway County, moving into Faulkner County. So if people are not woken up in Faulkner County by that, they are certainly some heavy sleepers.
Yeah. Had a question about, hey, how far away the main thunderstorm was from you in Quitman. Here's Quitman, here's Guy. So again, within the next 20-25 minutes at the most, we'll begin to see the outer edge of some of those stronger winds move into southern Cleburne County. Heber Springs, same way. Greer's Ferry, Edgemont. Had a question about Edgemont, which is up on the lake. It's not far from you. Go ahead and take shelter if you feel necessary. Get in your safe place. This is the strongest cluster of storms. It has been the strongest cluster all night long. And there you go, Tumbling Shoals, Drasco, Arkansas, Cleburne County, Greer's Ferry. We're beginning to see the leading edge coming out of Van Buren County, now getting closer to Cleburne County, where we have a severe thunderstorm warning.
I'm sure that's a pretty nice view of the storm right along that hilltop, very close to B Branch, where you can see it pretty far. If this were the daytime, Tom, I bet there's probably a shelf cloud, a really low cloud moving ahead of that storm. And that's typical when you have a damaging wind threat. You get this low hanging cloud, almost looks like a spaceship headed in your direction. So if you look outside before the storm arrives, you might be seeing that cloud heading your direction. And anytime you see a shelf cloud, that usually is a big sign to say it's time to batten down the hatches. There's some nasty weather headed in your direction, not necessarily severe weather, but probably the winds will be picking up. And that's why we do have still some gusty winds. And once again, the winds have to be 58 miles per hour or greater to reach that severe weather criteria. 40, 50 mile per hour winds can still knock down some tree branches that are weak, or even a weak tree. But it's really going to be now Cleburne County into Stone County, where we're seeing the highest potential of wind gusts to exceed that 58 mile per hour rating. And looking at what's happening around the rest of the state, another severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. So we just had that one.
That's some good news.
Into Polk County, but that cell is still packing quite a punch into Polk County and moving into northern parts of Howard County. So we'll just zoom in on that, take a quick gander at that. And there's the Cossatot River natural area. So hopefully people aren't camping, because that's a nasty storm to be camping out in.
Montgomery, Scott, and Yell counties were canceled. The severe thunderstorm warnings were canceled. Some good news there. So the one in Montgomery County just up the road has been removed. So that's good news for those of you in Montgomery County. Again, we're getting to a point where these warnings seem to be allowed to either expire or they're being canceled, which would signify that the thunderstorms may be weakening somewhat. But don't let your guard down. As Nathan mentioned a few moments ago, Southwest Arkansas hasn't had much action yet at all. And this was the highest STP, the significant tornado parameter in Arkansas, was over the southwestern part of the state. So we're going to keep an eye on these cells. They're individual, those discrete cells that may show a little more rotation. We got to keep an eye on those. Severe thunderstorm warning continues, though, for Baxter, Fulton, Izard, Marion, Searcy, and Stone County in far north Arkansas.
A lot of people are talking about the lightning, Tom, on Facebook.
I bet.
They're saying it's nonstop. I can imagine from just looking at what we're seeing on the radar, the lightning is going to be a lots of cloud to ground lightning strikes. And that could, cause some problems with trees coming down. Hopefully it doesn't hit anybody's house, but you kind of wonder with all those lightning strikes, it's striking something.
Michael Bennett's still with us up there. I'm going to give him a few minutes, see if he can get this queued up for us. But our westbound RView 11, our dash heating and air shot, the westbound shot, we might be able to pick up some of that lightning getting closer to central Arkansas. If we want to let it sit on this for just a minute, if we look off to the north and northwest, we might see some of those lightning flashes. It still might be a little far away, but yep, of course it's going to prove me wrong there and not show any lightning.
It's happened many times.
Yeah, it heard me. I can't determine if what I'm seeing here if those are stars or what in the sky. Surely skies are cloudy outside in Little Rock.
I don't know. Let's see.
We're going to go look out.
They?
And don't lock yourself out. I've done that before as well. Those of you joining us while Nathan takes a look outside, thank you for joining us on our YouTube and also on Facebook. We're here tonight just to give you a weather update to make sure that you feel good about things. And we're still following this cluster of severe thunderstorms over north central Arkansas from near Conway to Greenbrier northward. This is where we find the heaviest thunderstorm activity in central Arkansas. Greenbrier, Conway, over to Morrilton, Casa, Adona, Ola, Arkansas. This activity is moving to the east, northeast, down around Mayflower. We're good right now. Little Italy, we're pretty good right now. Williams Junction. But we're going to keep an eye on this southern and southwestern flank to see if it continues to develop to the southwest. And if that does, that would affect the Little Rock area.
There's a boundary, Tom. You see that? There's like a little boundary coming out right there.
There's an outflow boundary.
Yeah. So that's going to spark new development.
Yeah.
Most likely, as it encounters this yucky atmosphere. I just walked out. And
yeah. And you know what? You'll probably experience some pretty strong wind gusts with this outflow.
Yeah, so
and that's in western Pulaski County, southern Faulkner, Saline County. There it is, the outflow boundary.
So it's almost like a miniature cold front.
Yeah. The wind will pick up and you'll get that nice gush of cool air, and then directly behind it, the rain comes down. Pretty heavy.
Yeah, so the wind's coming out of the storm. You've got the downdraft coming through, and that could act like a miniature cold front, spark new development. So our chances of storms getting closer and closer to the metro are starting to increase, and most likely will produce a lot of lightning. Maybe not necessarily go severe, but just because these clouds are very high in the sky, and that's where the hail and the raindrops and snowflakes, because yes, there are snowflakes or ice crystals way up in the atmosphere. When the clouds build that high, that's all running together one another, and that creates a stack of electricity for the lightning to form, and hence that's why you have a lot of lightning out there tonight, because the storms are so tall. And I got like a cobweb on me, so I'm trying to figure this out.
You walked out.
That's what happens when I walk outside at night, and yeah.
So
hopefully no spider.
A report from Fairfield Bay. They're getting heavy downpours up in Fairfield Bay. Again, we're seeing a lot of the warnings now are in north central Arkansas, Van Buren, Cleburne County, northward, near Independence County, not quite to Independence County. Here's all your severe thunderstorm warnings, and there's even one down around Mena, Polk County. Looks like Sevier County, Little River County is getting close to some severe thunderstorm warnings for you folks as well in southwest Arkansas. And by the way, this is for Shreveport is responsible for the warnings that are in southwest Arkansas. There might be a few folks that pick up THV 11, but mainly out of Shreveport. There you go, Cassatot River Natural Area. That's near Duckett, Umpire, Hartley, Arkansas. That's where we're finding some heavy downpours and possibly some strong wind. And then you go up a little bit and those thunderstorms weaken. Montgomery, Scott, Yale County, those thunderstorm warnings were canceled, and that's a sign of weakening. Hopefully they won't cycle back up.
But now you see that heavy rain about to move into downtown Conway. So the lightning thunder moving into Faulkner County. Get ready to batten down the hatches, because things are going to get loud and rowdy as we go into the next hour or so, and it is trying to move into Pulaski County. That boundary is dropping its way down to the south and southeast. So the storms themselves are going to the northeast, but you see that boundary that it pushed out, and that's going to be the trigger for new development into Saline County, most likely Pulaski County, in the next 15 to 30 minutes as that boundary encounters a very warm, moist atmosphere in place. But some very heavy rainfall still happening through Van Buren County into Cleburne County.
Up here in North Arkansas.
Of course, what we're concerned about is the potential of some strong winds. And as we take a look the winds are there. I mean,
Yep.
there are going to be some gusty winds.
Yeah, some strong winds now between Bologna and Conway, going northward east of Greenbrier, now getting close to the Guy area in northern Faulkner County. So equipment, it's not far from you. This is a line of wind that could be in excess of 50, 60 miles per hour in some cases. Again, we haven't got a warning here, but we could still have some strong winds. North of this area, get up to Cleburne County, and that's where we find our severe thunderstorm warnings. Seeing that gradual decrease in intensity is actually a good thing. And I think looking at one of our products that looked out into the future, as we moved into east central Arkansas, it was projected that this line might fall apart a little bit. It could be going through a phase where it is falling apart a little bit, or it's weakening, and that would be some good news.
Yeah, let's take a look at that and see what the HRRR is picking up, because we haven't really looked at that over the past few hours, but we're going to take a look at it now, rewind it here, see how it's handling it, because of course, if it's not handling the present situation very good, it's not going to handle the future very well at all. So this is 12 o'clock and it's too slow.
Yeah, it's slow.
I mean, it's picking up
behind.
on that potential of storms off to the north, and it does have that line down to the south. So it's probably an hour or two slow, I'm saying, and there you see. So there is a weakening trend taking place. It did, I would say, do a good job with that northern segment being the strongest.
Right. And we saw the breaks in that southern segment.
And then it's out of here. So the morning rush should be quiet for most of central Arkansas. Maybe just a few showers. I think we're going to see some sun tomorrow, but we'll have to watch out because we still have the upper level disturbance that's going to swing its way through, and that could produce
some thunderstorms, and
some more
southeast
storms.
Arkansas.
And the storms could be strong, possibly severe in southeast Arkansas. So southeast Arkansas might not see much tonight. If we rewind things back here, it looks like for the most part that southern band just kind of starts to fizzle out before it reaches southeast Arkansas. And if that's the case, then the next round coming into play later today, got to say today now.
Later today?
Yeah, because it is after midnight. And we're looking at the potential, there could be some strong to severe thunderstorms, but by far, it looks like Mississippi is, again, the target zone.
Isn't that amazing?
They can't catch a break.
It's amazing. I know some folks in Tupelo that were affected. The storms actually hit north of Tupelo, but it's been all around them this spring. And Nathan, I think we've been pretty lucky here in Arkansas this time, because I know that I wasn't here this time last year, but this time last year you were already up to 20 plus tornadoes, and we have 11.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and last year we already had the Jonesboro tornado. A lot of tornadoes last year were not in central Arkansas. It was northeast Arkansas, it was on the corners. Southeast Arkansas, southwest, northwest. We've been lucky here in central Arkansas.
Yeah, we haven't had, southeast Arkansas had the brunt of them. There were a few up northeast Arkansas, one or two southwest, but not tonight. Not tonight. In fact, we haven't had a tornado warning since the initial tornado warning in western Arkansas for Sebastian, Crawford, Franklin counties earlier. It's been severe thunderstorm warnings because of the wind, and the strongest wind right now that's prompting the warning exists from Cleburne County northward into Stone, Izard, Fulton, and Baxter counties.
And that goes for another 10 minutes. So we'll see if they're going to continue to extend that warning into Independence County and possibly northern parts of White County or not. I mean, looking at the velocity on Little Rock, it looks like to me that northern part is starting to wind down somewhat. It's still a lot of lightning, but I'm not seeing those colors show up like what we're seeing just down to the south. So being the National Weather Service, they're probably saying, okay, the radar beam is higher. It's probably about 3,000 feet or so once you get into Van Buren County and also Cleburne County. So therefore, we're not seeing too much in the form of some high winds. Maybe this is not reading things correctly right at the surface. Maybe that's why they're continuing that severe thunderstorm warning. I would be surprised, though, if they extend that into Independence County and farther east. We'll just have to see what happens with this activity moving through Faulkner County, because it's not severe. It's close. I think it's about 45, maybe 55 mile per hour winds moving through Conway. Let's take a look at some of the the data here. We'll just query some of it to see how close we are, because Conway, we're getting closer and closer to the radar site, and that's about 1,100 feet.
I got to give credit to Nathan on this one. The D's and the W's you see there are your Walmarts and Dollar General stores, so you might live around one. And we try to give you landmarks. You know, if you live near Walmart here in Conway, now Conway has 2 Walmarts, been to both of them. One's a little farther west than the other, but this gives you an idea as to where the strongest winds are, you know, really going to come in handy if in fact we have a possible tornado. But just anyway, I wanted to make sure you knew what you were looking at here, D's and W's.
Appreciate that, Tom. Thanks for reminding people, because, you know, most viewers be like, what does that mean? Yeah, I think it's just a nice perspective on people have difficulties on finding where they are located sometimes on a map, even though you have roads and stuff like that. I'd like to give a little bit landmarks. So if a Dollar General, if that's what you're used to, if you know where the Walmart is right down the street from you, then yeah, if this relays information that could be life-saving one day, then I don't have any problem adding and spending extra time to make this map stand out. I mean,
yeah, you know, folks in Conway might want to know where Stobie's is located. You've heard of Stobie's, right? In Conway?
I have not.
Famous cheese dip. Uh-oh.
I have not. Oh, no, I'm in trouble now.
Well, it's a great restaurant all the way around. Anyway, you know, the leading edge of some of the heavier precipitation now edging into Conway. Just north of Pulaski County, we still don't have any lightning, do we? I'm going to take a look at the camera while you zoom around there.
It's getting closer and closer.
It's getting closer, but still no lightning.
I mean, I don't know if we want to take a RDOT camera in Conway, and it probably will show some lightning or something like that, or the one in Mayflower might be an option if the director or producer.
I don't think we have a producer with us.
Know.
I think that we don't. It's just you, me, and Michael Bennett.
Okay, well, let me see if I can pull it up on this other computer real quick. I'll let you know.
Pull up an RDOT cam for us in the Conway area. Let's see if we can find some lightning. Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. Who's here? Is it Kevin? Kevin is here. Okay, Kevin's helping us out. Okay, Kevin, thank you. Now, I know that this morning across the river that Scott Covert was supposed to do something with the Travelers. They start their season tonight. And I think we're going to have some baseball. Bless you. You all right over there?
Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. So we're hoping that the weather settles down enough to where Scott can go over across the street at Dickey Stevens Park and help kick off the Travs baseball season. I think, you know, if this keeps going the way it's going, then we should have, as Nathan was talking about, the morning rush in Central Arkansas might have just a few sprinkles. Greenbrier, Morrilton, over to Ola, Dardanelle, looks like you're in the clear. Russellville, you're in the clear. You folks can call it a night, all right? Atkins, give it just a little while longer, although it's just general thunderstorm winds with you in Atkins. I think that the leading edge of the strongest winds are along the front edge of this complex. So places like Russellville, Clarksville, just some rain tonight. If you live in Polk County, you can go to bed. You live up toward Newton County watching us, you can go to bed. Van Buren County, you're almost in the clear. Clinton, still with a severe thunderstorm warning, but the strongest winds again are out in advance. Heber Springs, looks like a little bit of a kink there, Nathan, south of Heber Springs. I don't know if that's anything on our velocity mode, but we'll take a look at that here and see if there's anything wrapping up. These brief spin-ups happen along the front edge of these bow echoes sometimes. And this feature that's in northern Saline and Pulaski County is an outflow boundary. That's where we're finding a cool rush of some air, like a mini cool front. So more storms may develop out ahead of that outflow boundary or along it.
Yeah, you can clearly see that on Storm Track 11 with that boundary. If you want to switch over to that, and then also I'm going to go over to the RDOT camera in just 1 second, because there is some lightning happening looking from Mayflower on Interstate 40. So there's that boundary. We'll loop it here, and look what happens with that line of storms moving off to the east-northeast, and then that boundary headed towards Pulaski County. And you see that new development that's happening behind that. So most likely this is trying to build its way down into Pulaski County. If you look off to the northwest right now from Pulaski County, you're probably seeing some flashes of lightning. Now I'm going to go over to, let's see here, the iDrive camera.
Here's our RDOT cam, yeah.
And this
pretty heavy
is
rain.
looking from, where's this looking from? Mayflower? Conway?
Conway.
So the roads are wet, the rain is falling, and quite a bit of lightning happening in that area, and that's no surprise, and that is moving right down Interstate 40. So it will be closing in on Pulaski County, but again, this is just a pretty good gully washer with a lot of lightning. I think that's going to be really the main story for most of this activity, along with some gusty winds. We're still watching the potential. There could be some wind gusts, 50, 60 miles per hour, maybe an isolated 70-mile-per-hour wind in some cases if everything lines up perfectly. But what I'm seeing on radar, Tom, right now, it's not looking that impressive.
No, especially on this end. It looks like it's fallen apart somewhat. And we have not had a new warning issued now for quite some time. 3 minutes, well, a little under 2 minutes and 10 seconds for this cluster of warnings. What about Southwest Arkansas? Do we have anything new down there, Montgomery County or Mount Ida?
And we do have some new warnings for Howard County and also into Hempstead County.
Hempstead County.
So we'll switch over
those
to
storms.
the Shreveport once we cover Montgomery County. So yeah, there's heavy rain, Opal, Big Fork, Alf, Pine Ridge. I remember naming these communities not too long ago, like an hour ago. So it looks like that line's kind of run out of steam and storms are trying to develop in the same location. It's been raining in Polk County for quite some time, so you have to watch out for, I think, East Polk County, maybe for the potential of some flash flooding issues for porch range areas, low-lying areas, and also any of those trouble spots that you're familiar with where you might have to do a shallow creek crossing.
Yeah.
Don't do that tonight.
I'm going to take it over here and take a look and see what Little Rock's got going on, if anything new.
But we'll go over to the Shreveport radar now.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at what's happening with the Shreveport radar. And yeah, there's a heavy rain. Let's take a look at the winds with this, see if the winds are really significant with this. I'm not seeing too much that really stands out to me, but I think they're just playing it safe because the storms are so tall that they could produce the winds in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Those storm tops are pretty still impressive for that area. Let's take a look here. Yeah, there's the winds. Nothing really stands out compared to what we saw earlier, Tom, when we were seeing winds 70, 80 miles per hour possible in Johnson County. This is not as significant. And really, any of the storms, it just does not look like it's that significant. Yes, this has that classic signature, not rotation, but classic signature with that backward C or bow and arrow type situation, that there could still be some very gusty winds, certainly a lot of lightning as it closes in.
How about that?
Has this turned? It almost looks like it turned a little bit. So let's go back and watch this evolve over the past 3 hours or so. Because it was going to the east. So it almost looks like it's just kind of moving to the east and then almost trying to drop a little bit down to the south-southeast.
Yeah. Notice the storms in northeast Arkansas are beginning to flare up here. It seems as if that this is where we're finding the weather strengthening, but back in central Arkansas it's not. Pocahontas? Oh, there you go. Your Black Rock, Arkansas, Pocahontas. Okay. So this is another RDOT camera we get to use for taking you on a little bit of a tour there. In terms of warnings, the warnings for central Arkansas, north central Arkansas have all expired, except for that one in northeast Arkansas near Pocahontas.
Yeah, for north central Arkansas, it's all done. We still have that warning now for Montgomery County and also now for Pike County until 1:30. So it looks like this segment is starting to weaken somewhat, even though it's packing a boatload of lightning with it. Don't let your guard down on that. But right now, it doesn't look like there's a wind gust exceeding 50 miles per hour. There could still be some wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour moving through Cleburne County into White County, maybe even into Faulkner County, dropping its way down into Pulaski County and Lono County in the next hour or so. But now it looks like this southern part, like we've been talking about, which that atmosphere has not been worked over,
starting to get
this is
energized.
starting to get a little more lively, getting a little bit of adrenaline shot.
Yeah. So that stuff, I would say it's not finished, completely done. It is refiring in southwest Arkansas, or at least getting going. We've been waiting for a solid line to develop and move through, but it's been kind of broken. And now southwest Arkansas, where some of the higher significant tornado parameter exists. So not saying there's going to be a tornado, but they're strengthening here and in northeast Arkansas, but they're beginning to weaken closer to central and north central Arkansas. So, and this from the National Weather Service, highest wind gusts reported over North Arkansas have been 30 to 40 mile per hour range. We're letting the severe thunderstorm warnings expire for now, but they will continue to monitor. Those were those cluster of warnings with that one segment that started in Oklahoma, produced tornadoes in Arkansas and western parts of the state, possible tornadoes. I think they're going to come back tomorrow with a tornado. And now it's beginning to weaken, which is some good news.
Yeah. Good news all around for north central Arkansas. We just have to watch out for this new line segment developing. Looking at the cloud tops on this, let's take a look at from the Shreveport area, but we'll switch over here to the cloud tops to see. Yeah, those cloud tops they're high. Where you see the reds, you're getting cloud tops up to 45 to 50,000 feet, and that's an indication if these cloud tops stay in that range and they continue to stay very tall, the storm is remaining on the strong to severe side. So until we start to see a diminishing fashion with these cloud tops, most likely they'll continue the severe thunderstorm warnings into more of Montgomery County, maybe getting into Garland County. Next in line would be Hot Spring County and also Clark County as we get into the 1-2 o'clock hour time frame. And you're still trying to look for lightning out there? There are some clouds out there. Tom's looking outside right now. That's the door that you heard.
Waiting for the outflow boundary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, should be getting closer here pretty soon.
Yeah, if you open up the windows, you might get that nice cool rush of air.
Oh, it's humid out there.
So that boundary is approaching Pinnacle Mountain, and it is also moving through Maumelle. So right now, the winds are probably picking up from the north-northwest as that boundary makes its way through. And it's not going to be too much form of winds, I don't think. Let's take a look at the winds here. Probably, to me, that looks like about 15 to 20 miles per hour. But we'll do some query of the data here to see exactly what is coming up with. Oh, it's coming up with like 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. So that's a good gust of wind with the outflow boundary as it makes its way through northern parts of Pulaski County.
Might even fool you a little bit. My home is not far from Pinnacle Mountain out here, so I got a vested interest in keeping an eye on this as well. But a little outflow boundary not going to do much, but maybe help cool off a little bit. Storms are well behind that boundary too, Nathan. This continues to move away from our boundary. So and then back in southwest Arkansas, these are the warnings we have. We have a few in southwest, and we have a few in northeast Arkansas.
All right, so let's give the breakdown now, Tom, because there are places where you can go to bed. We already mentioned these before, but in case you're just joining us, appreciate you. Appreciate all the comments coming in, and for you guys staying up with us. We have to stay up, so it's good to have you guys stay up along with us as well. But pretty much from Searcy County, Newton County, a large part of Van Buren County, Pope County, Johnson County, down through Conway County, into Yell County, Logan County, Scott County, you're pretty much all done with the threat of severe weather. That cell into Montgomery County may clip southern parts of Yell County and could try to scoot its way into Perry County. So that's why right now Perry County, still the potential remains in place. You still might have to have a severe thunderstorm warning if that cell holds together moving in from Montgomery County and also into southern parts of Yell County. But by far, a lot of locations to the northwest of the metro, you're done with the threat of severe weather. Everybody else to the east, including all Little Rock Metro, down through Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Sheridan, Pine Bluff, we still have the severe thunderstorm watch remaining in effect until 4 o'clock this morning. And let me go back to that, rush through that in 1 second. We still have that severe thunderstorm watch until 4 o'clock in the morning for pretty much a large part of Arkansas. All the counties that you see shaded in the pink, from Camden to Pine Bluff to Searcy, yes, you still have to be on your guard for that potential of severe weather. Again, damaging winds are the main concern as we take a look at that. Here are the severe weather hazards still in play. Everything is still in play. When we talk about modes of severe weather, we're still looking at the potential that a few storms may try to produce winds 60 to 80 miles per hour. I really think the hail, I should adjust this, but the hail down to quarter size. I think the tennis ball size hail, it's taken out of the equation because we're just not looking at that environment as much anymore. And tornadoes, yes, there could still be a quick spin up tornado embedded within the line. That's why we're here. That's why we're staying here through the night until 2 o'clock in the morning. Tom and I will be here, and then meteorologist Scott Covert and Corrales Ortiz will take over, and they will watch things until it is all clear.
And with, tell you what, with the warnings for a good part of central and northern Arkansas now, they've gone away. They've been allowed to expire or they've been canceled, which is certainly some good news. We'll take a break here at 1 o'clock. And if we do have more warnings that pop up over central Arkansas, we'll be sure to break back in. Montgomery County is the closest one. And this area in southwest Arkansas is beginning to pick up a little forward momentum. So this is the area of concern here over the next couple of 3 hours. North central Arkansas, still with some pretty good thunder and lightning here, some wind, but the warnings have been allowed to expire. The only severe thunderstorm warning is in far northeast Arkansas. Okay, so we do have some, more from our RDOT cams going into Conway, some lightning here. Hey, thunderstorms, they produce lightning. These have produced some pretty good amounts of lightning tonight. All right, so wind, of course, is the primary concern, wind damage. Nathan mentioned it, that probably could drop that size hail down a bit because these thunderstorms were supposed to become more of a wind producer than anything else, and that's what they're doing. This over southwest Arkansas, which wasn't that impressive a couple of hours ago, trying to come together here from Mount Ida down to Nashville. Now, there were a couple of counties in southwest Arkansas and Louisiana that were allowed to expire. See, severe thunderstorm warning. Little River, Bowie, Cass, Morris, Texas, those have been allowed to expire. But Montgomery County to Howard County, severe down to Hempstead County near Hope, Nashville. This area, Pike County, you're under the gun with a severe thunderstorm warning. This is moving to the east with a bit of a northeast jog as well. Little Rock, Pulaski County, Saline County. Right now, we don't have a whole lot going on.
So I'm going to do a storm track on that latest segment moving through Polk County into Montgomery County, stretching down through Texarkana. Let me just see how fast it's going. And it's moving to the northeast. They're saying it's 60 miles per hour with that one cell. So we'll just do a rough estimate here. And just to give you an idea on where this is going and where it's headed. Now, this I think is scheduled for 50 miles per hour, so I might have to adjust that. But here's a rough estimate. Mount Ida around 106, Gurdon, if it holds together, 136, Hot Springs 151, Malvern a little after 2 o'clock, and Benton, again, if it holds together, around 230. So we haven't had much activity in Little Rock and down to the south, but that will be changing as this new line moves in from southwest Arkansas, getting into central Arkansas over the next 1 to 2 hours. That's the line we have to watch out for. Once again, it's primarily damaging wind threat, 50, 60, maybe as high as 70 miles per hour. And the hail threat, pea-size, dime-size hail, there could be 1 or 2 storms that try to produce quarter-size hail. And the tornado threat, it's there, but we're not overly concerned about it. There could be a brief, weak spin-up, but right now, through the past several hours, we're not seeing any storms really start to rotate, and the parameters and the ingredients for a tornado continue to decrease, but still, we cannot let our guard down, because as soon as you say, okay, there's not going to be any tornado warning whatsoever, you end up eating your words. So we're not saying that, but we're saying the odds of a tornado warning or the odds of a brief, weak spin-up tornado have continued to go down.
I'm just looking at some of the Facebook Folks, thank you for joining us on Facebook tonight, and just see if we can answer any more questions about any power outages. I think 20,000+ people in western Arkansas now without power because of the possible tornado in western Arkansas, but we haven't had any reports or many reports in the rest of the state, although those storms in north central Arkansas really packed a wallop. So again, we're going to keep an eye. Oh, there's some hail pickup there, quarter-sized hail possibly with those storms in southwest Arkansas, something we haven't seen a whole lot of tonight. The possibility, now this is within the thunderstorm cloud. As it hits the ground or falls to the ground, it's going to melt off a little bit. If you live in Pike County near Daisy, Murfreesboro, Nashville, DeQueen up to Mount Ida, these thunderstorm warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for you for a little bit longer. But really just, hey, Rusty, Dardanelle is good. Dardanelle should be good. Still getting questions about west central Arkansas. And Greenbrier, well, we're getting close to things getting pretty good for you. Faulkner County still has some thunderstorm activity just to the west of you. So just want to address that. I know a lot of people have been up late, want to go to bed, but we still have this area to the southwest of Little Rock to move through central Arkansas a little bit later in the evening hours, overnight tonight. Thank you guys again. We appreciate you watching us here on Facebook and YouTube TV this evening. Texarkana is getting a lot of wind. That's a report from a viewer down in Texarkana.
And Tom, we're seeing a lot of people saying the winds are crazy here, the winds are whipping. Winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour will get your attention. Winds of 50 miles per hour will get your attention and will make the trees dance quite a bit. Will make a scary sound, especially at night. But they have to be 50 miles per hour or greater for the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. If they're not seeing that on radar, they're not going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're watching us in Faulkner County, I don't doubt that you're seeing some gusty winds, and it could be a little scary, especially with the lightning and thunder. But it's not life-threatening, according to the National Weather Service, because we're not seeing those radar or that radar data pick up on winds of 50 miles per hour or greater. But still, heavy rain, yes, it's making a ruckus in Conway, in Valonia, moving into northwest White County. It's made its way through Cleburne County, from Drasco, Greers Ferry, Heber Springs, moving into Independence County. It's moved through Stone County. This is a strong line of storms, no doubt. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder, heavy rain will get your attention, will wake you up if you are a light sleeper, but it's not life-threatening, and that's why there's no severe thunderstorm warning in effect at this time for these counties, and that's why we're not focused that much on you guys, because it's really these counties in southwest Arkansas where there are winds that potentially could be above 58 miles per hour as these storms are continuing to grow and continue to develop as they move through Polk County, Montgomery County, into Howard County, approaching Pike County. And these are the latest severe thunderstorm warnings that go until about 1:15 or 1:30 for all of those locations. So we're going to continue to watch those cells make their way right along Interstate 30, Clark County, Hot Spring County, Garland County. You're next in line. What about Pulaski County? Because there is some lightning. You probably had some winds move through northern parts of Pulaski County with that outflow boundary now approaching the interchange of 630 and also 40. And this is making its way down to southeast. No rain associated with this, but this is that cooler thunderstorm air moving its way out from the storms in Perry County and Faulkner County. This could be a trigger for new storms to develop. We're still waiting on to see if that's going to happen or if the storms with that particular segment will stay just to the north of us. But we have to watch out what happens into southwest Arkansas for that potential of more storms arriving in the next 1 to 2 hours. So really our focus is going to be southwest Arkansas, it looks like now, because those storms are continuing to build quite a bit. Meanwhile, the storms in north central Arkansas, they were severe, but right now they do not look severe. They just look like they are, they're strong. They're strong.
And just to pass along that they're without power in Greers Ferry. That's from one of our Facebook. They just, hey, we don't have any power. And the strong storm in Cleburne County is now beginning to move into eastern Cleburne County near Heber Springs. So just give, if folks concerned up there, just give it about 15, 20 more minutes. You're not under a warning. It's just a very strong thunderstorm, and it's going to have wind. And that was one of the things we talked about tonight, that we are going to have quite a bit of wind with this. So Heber Springs, just kind of hang on there. Grizz Ferry, hopefully you get your power back. That was one of the things tonight that we kind of expected with those strong, damaging wind gusts. And you see the strong area along, it's bowing out a little bit. It's bending here toward the Greenbrier area, Conway, Valonia. Yeah, for those of you that live in Faulkner County, gonna have to give it probably another 15, 20 minutes or so. And then you've got more storms here in Perry County, southern Conway County. Just trying to answer as many questions as I possibly can on Facebook. I know you guys are up late with us tonight. Nathan and I really appreciate this. We're just trying to give you what you need to know. And power's out in Greenbrier. Thank you for letting us know about that in Faulkner County. Conway should be getting some pretty good thunder and lightning near you. Quitman, Olivia says can't sleep. She is in Quitman, Arkansas. Quitman, you've got, looks like the thunderstorm is about finished with you. All right, it's about over with, and you'll be able to go to sleep here in just a few moments. Dardanelle's good. Dardanelle is fine. Thank you very much. And let's see. And there you go. There we are. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. So that's what we have here. No warnings. Nathan, take us to Southwest Arkansas.
All right, we're going to take a look at Southwest Arkansas once again because that's where all the severe thunderstorm warnings are located, into Montgomery County, Pike County, Howard County, also into Hempstead County. Let's take a look at the winds with the Shreveport radar, and that's the closest radar that we may get. We're kind of in between radars here. Once again, it's going to be Fort Smith versus Little Rock versus Shreveport, but we'll take a look at all of them to make sure we're not missing anything. I'm not seeing anything really pop up that concerns me on the Shreveport radar. We'll take a look at Fort Smith and see if there's anything there in terms of wind. And again, it's just we're so high above the surface with this, so it's hard to get a good read on exactly what these winds are. Let's take a look at Little Rock, and yeah, range folding. So it's a tough situation to look at really the insides of this storm in Montgomery County. I think the National Weather Service is just playing it safe just because the cloud tops are so high. This doesn't really have a signature so much so of a damaging wind threat, but with the cloud tops being so high, they're playing it safe. They're going to say, okay, we'll just issue the severe thunderstorm warning to be cautious. So this has a lot of lightning, has a lot of thunder with it, moving through Montgomery County, Pencil Bluff, approaching Mount Ida, through Hogjaw into Alf, approaching Norman. Then you get into Albert Pike recreational area. That will produce a lot of rain, hopefully not too much in the form of flash flooding, because we all know about the history from Albert Pike with the terrible flash flooding incident that happened several years ago. We're going to look at rainfall totals probably around 1 to 2 inches for the most part with this line as it makes its way through. Then you go into Pike County, Langley, New Hope, Daisy State Park. There's the lightning and thunder knocking at your doorstep. Murfreesboro, the great town or community of Nathan. I have not been there yet, but I plan to. I wonder if they have a sign. I have to go down there to take a picture of me, like a selfie with the sign.
Well, hey, Nathan, I have a question for you. Do you play requests?
Do I play requests?
Yeah, Jessica would like for you to please loop the radar. You feel like a late night disc jockey. Do you play requests? Could you play that request for her? I think she would like to see the radar loop.
Yeah, we could do that. So a full state loop?
Full state loop. This is for you, Jessica. This is a long distance dedication just for you.
So there you see how everything's evolving, and not everybody is getting the rain. Once again, it's Pine Bluff, not seeing anything right now. The green that you see around most of Little Rock down through Pine Bluff, that is what's known as ground clutter. So the radar is in its sensitive mode and it's picking up anything and everything. It could be bugs, it could be birds, but that's why we're seeing a lot of green around Pine Bluff and Little Rock, even though it's not raining. The rain is pretty much just outside of Little Rock Metro. It's raining in Conway, and we've got the rain happening through Perry County. Once again, there's all the lightning showing up. But the lightning is starting to come down. I'm seeing that, Tom. We're not seeing those lightning numbers as high as what we were seeing just about an hour ago. I remember I showed you in Conway County, just a small section of Conway County, it was about 400 lightning strikes in 10 minutes. Well, now we're going to query this area of Faulkner County and into White County, and we've got 45 lightning strikes. So that says to me, with the lightning number going down, this is starting to weaken quite a bit. And it's still producing heavy rain. It's still producing a lot of lightning and also some gusty winds, but it is not as intense as what it was just about 1 to 2 hours ago. Now, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Independence County and now Jackson County. So, and there's more lightning up in this location as well. So we'll have to see on exactly what this cell is producing. We'll take a look at the Little Rock radar site, and I'll have to switch over to most likely Memphis.
Okay. Leading edge of that thunderstorm is now in Batesville, by the way, so that's where we're finding some pretty strong wind gusts. Also, some reports of hail in Heber Springs, Nathan, that just a couple of minutes ago. So these storms are still capable of producing some hail, maybe not tennis ball sized hail, but some hail nonetheless.
Yeah, and we're seeing potential of some hail around Cushman, Concord. So that might get pretty close to Batesville. You might see hail pea size, dime size, potentially quarter size, but the strongest cell is up here near Perigold.
Yeah. Sam said, hey, a severe thunderstorm warning in Cleburne County. Let's see, that's Independence County, just a little bit of northwest Cleburne County. So Sam, just a little bit there of Cleburne County, northeast of Drasco, and the possibility of some quarter-sized hail with those storms. And this warning kind of put the end to a streak that we had where all the warnings had disappeared for north central Arkansas. Now they're back, and this complex is moving into northeast Arkansas. So we'll turn our attention here tonight as soon as this is out of central Arkansas. I'm getting a lot of questions. Faulkner County, can I go to bed? Conway County, can I go to bed? And there's a new warning that pops up.
Yeah, so we have a brand new warning now for, no surprise, Clark County, western parts of Hot Spring County, southwest Garland County. That goes until 2 o'clock, and that's with this cell moving through Pike County, about to approach Daisy, and then it's going to be moving into Antoine, Bismarck, very close to that area, and Arkadelphia. You're going to get into the action very soon. So probably about the next hour to hour and a half, storms will be rolling through this part of the state. Once again, damaging winds. The main concern, we're not seeing the yellow outline of the polygon, so that means this is a damaging wind threat and also potential hail threat. Let's take a look at the hail to see if there's anything that stands out. There could be a little hail, as our hail product is picking out the potential of hail around Nathan and also Dierks. This is going to be moving towards Daisy State Park, very close to the Crater of Diamonds State Park, and it's going to make its way, if it continues, close to Arkadelphia. But this is going to be pea-sized, dime-sized hail for the most part, isolated location, maybe quarter-sized hail. So here are all the warnings in effect across Arkansas, and you can see it's Independence County, Jackson County, up through northeast Arkansas, and then we've got those severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from a large part of Clark County, southwestern parts of Garland County, southeastern parts of Montgomery County, into Hempstead County. So if you live within this line, I'm going to draw a line here. I'll put on the regular radar, and then I will take the radar off and we'll take a look at just where that line is to give you an idea on who can go to bed. I would say these areas. So we're going to take off that and just have line disappear. We'll draw it again. Okay. So I would say from Mena to Yell County, I would say Perry County now, you can go to bed. Pretty much most of Faulkner County, including Conway. Yes, it's still storming there. Lightning is still happening. It's still creating quite a bit of ruckus, but the severe weather threat has really started to fizzle out into that part and most part of Faulkner County. Then Cleburne County, Van Buren County, Polk County, Johnson County, Newton, Searcy, Stone, Izard, and off to the north and west of those areas. The severe thunderstorm threat, the severe weather threat is over. You can go to bed. Good night. Thanks for watching us. Sweet dreams, and hopefully you can get a good night's rest. Everybody to the east and south of that red line, including Little Rock, the potential is still there.
Yep.
It's not high, but it is still there, and we will stay here until 2 o'clock, and then meteorologists Scott Covert and Corrales Ortiz, they will be in here to keep you covered, to keep you updated on what's happening. Once we get into the 2 o'clock hour, they'll take over and they'll stick with you through the course of the morning. So we're kind of going into waves here, Tom. Like, okay, one storm kind of weakens, then another storm kind of upticks.
Right.
It's no surprise. It's very humid outside. And we're starting to get lightning now showing up on our view 11. I just saw on the one camera looking to the north. So it's the second camera looking at the Broadway Bridge.
Yeah, it's right out
where we're
here.
seeing the lightning.
That's where you see it. I've had a lot of reports on Facebook that BB, which is in White County, BB has now lost power. And as you can see, there's not a warning for White County and BB. It could be that a strong gust of wind came in here and knocked the power out. Hopefully it won't be out for too long. But White County, Faulkner, Pulaski, Perry, we're not under any warnings at this time, but we still may have some thunderstorm wind gusts, 30, 40 miles per hour. Nathan mentioned it a moment ago, a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust will get your attention. And what's going on outside in the weather garden, Nathan, is that outflow boundaries reached here. It didn't cool us off, and there it is right there, that dark green line moving from downtown Little Rock to Cabot. And you know what? It could have been this outflow because, you know, you folks here in BB have been telling me last few minutes or so that the power went out within the last few minutes, about 5-10 minutes ago. So, excuse me.
Let's take a look outside to see. Yeah, we've got a little bit of wind moving through.
So you extend
it's not any cooler.
Yeah. No, it's not any cooler. From Searcy down to Cabot, Little Rock, back into central Saline County. This is where we're finding this little outflow region, this outflow area moving through. Might have some gusty winds with it. Some folks might pick up a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust. But you're more likely going to pick that up because, BB, look, the storm itself is to your northwest. Those of you that are on your phones keeping up with us tonight, some rain showers, heavier showers and storms here from near Valonia over to Conway, Greenbrier. You notice it falls apart back over toward Morrilton, Atkins. If you live in Atkins, Russellville, Dardanelle, go to bed. You know, you got to get up early and go to work tomorrow morning. This area has fallen apart, but the area to the southwest is still holding together, and that's what we have to go through tonight. And I have a feeling what's going to happen is that Scott and Corrales will come in and take over for Nathan and I, and they'll get to handle that area before Scott heads over to Dickey Stevens Park. Notice there's that area of thunderstorms moving through. No warnings here, but a warning does exist upstream. Independence County, Jackson County. If you live in Newport, if you live in Batesville, if you live in Cave City, you're going to be under the gun with this severe thunderstorm. And the primary threat, the primary hazard is going to be winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Behind it, you live in Clinton, go to bed. You live in Botkenburg, go to bed. Just general rain showers now. Up to Rushing, Arkansas, Whit Springs, Marshall, Leslie. Even farther north, Mountain View. It looks like things are improving for you. Melbourne, the back edge of that line of thunderstorms is moving through your area. And we have had a resurgence of some thunderstorms in northeast Arkansas, in the Jonesboro viewing area, Walnut Ridge, Pocahontas, points north. But we're concerned about what's happening in Batesville, Salado, Gainesboro, over to Diaz and Newport, 67, 167, as a line of storms is now moving through Independence County. And the main threat again is damaging wind. We might even have a little bit of hail with this particular line of thunderstorms. It's held together since Fort Smith earlier tonight, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but thankfully it's lost its tornadic characteristics, since that was the same storm system that did produce most likely a tornado right over the city of Van Buren, and then it merged into this bow echo. that continues to still produce some very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and still the potential of some damaging wind gusts. So that's what we're looking at. We still have those severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Independence County, Jackson County, and also into parts of southwest Arkansas, moving into central Arkansas. But we lost that one severe thunderstorm warning into Hempstead County. So hopefully that line is starting to weaken as it makes its way from southwest Arkansas. But Tom, we almost have about 900 people still watching and staying up with us. So that's pretty impressive. Thank you for watching us and
thank you so much.
Allowing us to give you updates and hopefully trying to calm some fears, because I know a lot of people are scared. Anytime there's storms in the area, especially a lot of lightning, the first thing that you think of is a tornado or something like that. We're not in that situation tonight. We're on air because we're trying to calm people's nerves. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings. It's primarily a damaging wind threat that is producing some power outages as expected. It is bringing down some tree limbs because you get winds 40, 50, 60 miles per hour, maybe as high as 70 in some locations. Yeah, that is going to bring down some tree limbs. That's going to bring down some tree branches. But by far, we have been lucky. Like Tom said earlier, they had tornadoes yesterday in Mississippi. They could have tornadoes again tomorrow in Mississippi. And for us, it's just pretty much the potential of a brief week spin-up tornado. Things have pretty much behaved the way they were expected to behave out there this evening into tonight. So that's some good news. We haven't seen any surprises where the storms have been stronger than expected.
The north central part of the state, the atmosphere now has been worked over. I don't think we're going to see a rebound, or at least a redevelopment of severe thunderstorms. It's this line that's now in Independence County, from Sharp through Independence County, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. And this is about to push out of our viewing area. Lawrence and Randolph counties is the extent of our viewing area, but Batesville over to Newport. If you live behind that, if you live in Marshall and Clinton, as we've been talking about, you're going to get some thunderstorm activity. You're going to get some moderate to heavy rainfall, but in all, the severe weather threat has dropped off. Now, if we go closer to central Arkansas, we'll find out what's happening in the Little Rock area. Pulaski County, we have yet to have our thunderstorm activity yet. We just had a little outflow boundary, a little mini cool front move through the region here. But as you can see, there's one little lightning strike there along that outflow boundary. Nathan also mentioned earlier that we might see thunderstorms develop around or near this outflow boundary or in response to it. Up toward Perry County, these storms have been riding through northern and north central Perry County, and just to the west, storms have lifted and have begun to develop once again in Montgomery County into southern Yell counties. So you have this much of a thunderstorm line. Mount Ida, Norman, Daisy moving to the northeast, east-northeast, the northern part of it not under a warning, but that part that's in Clark County, that's in southeastern Montgomery, that's in Pike, and also southwestern Garland County, you're under a warning for the likelihood of the strong and damaging wind. If you live north and west of that area, if you live over toward Mena, Polk County, it's good to hear from Mena tonight. Had a comment from Mena. Going to do the best we can to help you out as well. Scott County, folks, I think you're in the clear for this evening.
Just watching the radar very closely, Tom, and not seeing anything that's really catching my attention too much, except just where the severe thunderstorm warnings are located. And it's just a question on how long it's going to take for that line to move from Pike County into Pulaski County. So let's do a quick storm track once again in case people missed it.
Right in here.
Let's go back to that as I accidentally pressed the wrong button. It's late, so brain's not working properly altogether.
While you do that, Malvern and Hot Spring County, Amy's wondering, and of course, Malvern and Hot Spring County is in the path of that line of storms. It's going to take a while to get here. There's Perry, here's Garland, Hot Spring County right here. Malvern is southwest of Benton on I-30. So within another hour, give it an hour, that line will be approaching you there in Malvern. BB, getting a lot of questions about BB. We haven't really got a thunderstorm that maybe it is there now in BB, but the power outage certainly wasn't due to the thunderstorm. It may have been due to that outflow region that moved through. It may be thundering now in BB. Those thunderstorms were close.
All right, so there's the estimate, because this line segment is moving to the east-northeast about 50 miles per hour. So the time frame roughly is going to be 151 for Hot Springs, 152 for Arkadelphia, 210 for you folks in Malvern, 223 in Benton, and Little Rock expecting that to be around 241, 230, Pine Bluff maybe as late as 3 o'clock in the morning. If it doesn't accelerate, if it stays at 50 miles per hour, which is still pretty fast for a storm. And with that momentum, there probably will be some gusts, 50, maybe as high as 60, 65 miles per hour with this cell as it's cruising its way through Pike County, Clark County. And you got that severe thunderstorm warning into western parts of Hot Spring County and also southwestern parts of Garland County. So that's a timeline for you guys. And then we'll go over and take a look at what's happening around White County into BB. Yeah, there's heavy rain. Let's take a look at the winds and see if there's any winds really showing up. Not too much right now. I'm seeing winds probably about 20 to 30 miles per hour. We'll see what this little gust here, that's probably where the outflow boundary is, moving and approaching Griffithville, West Point, so it made its way through Searcy. We'll just take a look at those winds real quick, Tom, and see what they're coming up with, because it could be, I don't say 70 miles per hour, but because we're higher into the atmosphere with that radar beam. But I would say certainly a 30 to 40, maybe as high as 50 mile per hour winds rolling through parts of White County at this time.
I apologize. I stepped away to get my phone cable. I escaped. My phone is losing power, so I wanted to be able to keep up with folks. I brought my little phone cable in to plug it into the wall. Always keep your devices charged, folks.
Well, cell phones do not hold a charge whatsoever, it seems like. That battery can go out so quick. It can be 80% full, and then 2 hours later, it's like 50%. You're like, what happened?
Well, I'll tell you what's hard to find is an open socket in this building to be able to plug your phone into. Glad I could find one here on the floor. I'm just glad I didn't blow a fuse and turn out the lights here in the studio. Okay, so I want to address the BB situation. The power's back on in BB. So who knows what happened there, but thank you for letting us know about that. There were some 20,000+ folks in western Arkansas that are without power due to a possible tornado tonight. So we're lucky. If you lose power, let's hope it's brief. Otherwise, it is going to be very windy. And Nathan, these storms, this storm line just seems like it's kind of falling apart. It doesn't look nearly as impressive as it did earlier tonight. And here's that outflow boundary through Searcy, Lone Oak, Little Rock into around Hot Springs Village. Oh, more severe thunderstorm warnings now popping up for parts of Yell County.
Yep, that's to do a severe thunderstorm warning now for Yell County, also into western parts of Perry County. So that goes until 2:15. That segment has really started to develop. Yell County already got hit, so I'm
surprised.
That's still strengthening a little bit.
That area wasn't worked over by the previous line that moved through. So that's the line that's going to move into western Perry and possibly, if it holds together, get over toward the Conway area. And we're still looking at this particular area of Pike and western Clark County moving to the east-northeast that may affect Pulaski County down the line, and Saline and Grant and Lone Oak counties.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that, because that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2 o'clock for the areas just south and west of the metro. So if there's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning, it'll probably go until about 3 o'clock, I would think, if they're going to extend that. That's a healthy line segment. I mean, that has a lot of lightning with it, some very heavy rainfall. But Tom, we still need the rain in parts of the area. We were still under a deficit for the season since March 1st in Little Rock. I think we were about just over an inch with the deficit. So we need this rain. We want to have a good surplus of rain before we go into the dry months of summer. And also, this should not really affect the Arkansas River too much either, because a lot of this is not falling in the Arkansas River basin like what happened just with the last event. That was into northeast Oklahoma, and when you get a lot of rain in northeast Oklahoma, then the Arkansas River tends to rise, and they had several inches of rain in northwest Arkansas. We're not seeing 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain out there tonight.
It looks like over 1,000 folks without power in Pleasant Plains. That's close to Batesville in Independence County. So getting some power outages in northeast and north central Arkansas this evening. Here's Independence County, and we'll take you a little closer. Pleasant Plains is a community just south of Batesville. And that's what we've heard. That's what I just heard. So you still got some pretty potent thunderstorms here in Independence County. Pleasant Plains is south of Batesville, right here, just north of Midway in southern parts of Independence County. And that warning is in effect until 1:45. It's 1:26. So you still have another 20 minutes of this particular warning in the Independence County, then eventually into Jackson County. There's Tuckerman, Swift in Arkansas, Grubbs, Diaz, Oliphant. How about that? I hope I got that right. You know, Nathan, one of the things that I got to give you credit for is that you've been in Arkansas for, what, 3 years now, 4 years? And you've made
It's 3 years, yeah.
kind of your goal to learn as many names as you possibly can. I've lived here my entire life, and there are still small communities I mess up. So props to you for getting the encyclopedia of Arkansas names and learning them and knowing how to produce them. There you go.
Geography is a big thing with me. Like,
Yeah.
I was a big geography buff in high school, along with science. So
Yeah.
I used to know all the world capitals and all that. I just find geography fascinating, and it makes you more relatable when you actually know the town names in different parts of the country. Because you move around the country, everybody has different ways of
they do.
saying their
Absolutely.
town names.
Yeah, and in Arkansas, you can have two different pronunciations for one town name. I've run across that.
Oh, I believe that, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do the locals say? Well, this is how we say it, but others say this. Okay, back to weather. Bald Knob, just to your west, that line of thunderstorms. Just to your west, Searcy, Garner, Beebe, Ward. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for Cleburne County. That's good. There was only just a little sliver of that, so that's good news for you, Cleburne County. That line of storms continues to get closer to the 167 corridor in eastern and northeastern Arkansas.
And we still got the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Yell County into Perry County. So Casa, it's right at your doorstep. You got storms out there right now, but things are going to start to pick up momentarily in the next 10 to 15 minutes as that line makes its way into your region. And also we got the line of storms moving through Montgomery County into Garland County, and also Pike County moving into western parts of Clark County. And this is going to be the line that's most likely going to approach the metro through the course of the overnight. Once again, this is damaging wind threat. We're not seeing the yellow polygon outline with a severe thunderstorm warning. So that says there's no rotation being seen in any of this activity. That's good news. No rotation means the tornado threat is very, very low. Hopefully it stays that way. Still looking at the Storm Prediction Center with the information. There are still some ingredients we still have to watch out, because you never assume. That's one thing you learn in meteorology. You never assume and say, this is not going to happen. I've got a 100% chance this is not going to happen, because if you do, you're going to get burned one day. So we're going to say it's a very low chance of tornadoes out there tonight, but it's certainly not a non-zero chance. And that's why we're here. That's why we're going to stay here. Primarily, it's a damaging wind threat. There is the potential of some hail. As we take a look at the hail now, we might have some pea to dime size hail falling along Highway 27, right along the border of Yell County and also Montgomery County, very close to the community of Story, where that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. And then we also might have some hail still happening around eastern parts of Independence County, in Rosie, very close to Old Trough, and just to the east of Sulphur Rock, moving into Jackson County. But that's not too impressive to me. That says pea-sized, dime-sized hail for the most part. Still, very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning happening with both of these segments. So we got one segment to the north, White County, off to the north, Independence County, and then getting into Jackson County, into Lawrence County. That's moving off to the east-northeast. And then we've got another line segment of storms, strong, possibly severe. Certainly that's why those warnings have been issued for Pike County all the way up through Yell County. And this is moving off to the east-northeast and will approach Garland County, Saline County, and Pulaski County going into the next 1 to 2 hours. So still activity showing up, Tom, but the good news is no tornado warnings at this time, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, no tornado warning. Certainly some good news there. A new severe thunderstorm warning has just been posted for Garland, Montgomery, Perry, and Saline counties till 2:15. It's this box that just popped up right here, and it's because of that line that's now located in Yell County southward. That's going to be moving over places like Hot Springs Village, Jessieville. Movement, you see the box, movement is to the east-northeast. Expect winds of possibly up to 60 miles per hour, 1-inch hail. And if you see the hail, I think still primarily we're looking at wind. But this is for Garland, Montgomery, Perry, and Saline counties. Going to move over Lake Ouachita and Hot Springs Village, and on up the road into Saline County. Going to get closer to Fountain Lake. Jessieville's in there as well. These storms have been moving east pretty quickly tonight, 50, 55 miles per hour. We still have a little ways to go. Lawrence, Randolph, and Sharp counties have also been placed under a severe thunderstorm warning till 2:15. That's in extreme north Arkansas, north central Arkansas. So this is the way it's been all night. We see the counties be taken away from the warning, and then a few more replace them.
And if we're not talking about your county, that means that there's nothing to be concerned about at this time, because we haven't talked about Southeast Arkansas. We haven't really talked about Jefferson County, Arkansas County, because there's nothing showing up on radar. We're going to be focused on where the activity is and where the activity is going in the next 1 to 2 hours. So that's why we're focused on West Central Arkansas, North Central Arkansas. That's where everything is happening. That's where the main event is taking place. That's where all the severe thunderstorm warnings are happening. And that's why you're seeing all those counties show up on the board, and maybe not so much where your county is. Once again, if you're pretty much off to the north and west of the metro, you're done with the threat of severe weather. Yes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning still in Yell County. I think that's going to be, sliced and just be confined into Perry County. Could you see another severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Faulkner County?
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
It's possible. Here's Conway. Valonia, between Conway and Valonia, pretty strong thunderstorm. Yeah, this has still got to move to the east, and we're seeing some stronger storms to the west of that. So it's very possible. And that will move through Perry, northern Pulaski, and southern Faulkner County within the next couple of hours.
It's a messy storm mode, Tom, I would say. I mean, we're not seeing individual cells. Yeah. We're just seeing these certain line segments, some stronger than others, and then in the middle, from White County, Faulkner County, back through Conway County, you just have some lingering residual activity still happening, still producing some lightning, thunder, and some heavy rain. So we told you it was going to be a stormy night. We told you it was going to be a loud night.
You see, messy's a good way to say it. This is not a solid line. It's just kind of a broken up line. We had the one line, and then it broke apart. Now we're getting a second line. So you're right, Nathan. It's a stormy night. It could have been a lot worse. We're hopeful that this gets on out of here by early morning tomorrow morning. Yep. All right.
I mean, I would not stay up for a lot of places right now. From what I'm seeing, I know a lot of people are scared. I appreciate everybody staying up with us, but if you have to go to bed, just have your weather radio by you and have your THV11 app notifications turned on. Make sure the notifications are turned on. A lot of people kind of forget that step. So go to that little gear that you see at the top of the screen, or where it says settings, and go there and make sure those weather notifications are turned on, just in case a rogue spin up does happen. Once again, the chance is very, very low, but you guys need your sleep. And we're not looking at anything really significant that screams out to say there's going to be a tornado tonight. There's going to be strong winds, there's going to be gusty winds, there's a lot of lightning and thunder. That's the scenario that we're looking at this time. We've continued to look at it over the past several hours, but I don't want you to lose your sleep because you're scared. Now, I know if there's lightning around, you're still probably going to stay awake and watch us, which we always appreciate, but we're just telling you the truth right now on what we're seeing, everything we're looking at. it doesn't look that impressive in terms of a severe weather event. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. They're producing some gusty winds. We're not seeing anything crazy in terms of hail. Could be some hail right now happening around Buckville, right over Lake Washita. That's headed towards Hot Springs Village. But in terms of really high destructive winds that will take out a lot of trees or something like that, we're not seeing that at this time. We'll continue to watch things very closely, and as long as you have those notifications, as long as you have that know weather radio close by and it will wake you up, that's the most important thing. So, Tom,
Yep.
what do you think? Do you think we could take a little break, or?
Well, I think we could. Just wanted to address a couple of more things here. We're going to take a little break. We had a special request. Nathan's playing requests tonight, thankfully. Would you take us to Sharp County, Nathan? They just wanted to see the radar loop in Sharp County, North Arkansas. There was a warning that was posted up there. We'll show you what's going on here in North Arkansas, then we'll take a little break. Thunderstorms are active. Sharp, Lawrence, Randolph counties, near Pocahontas, Walnut Ridge. This activity is moving to the east at about 50. And I did have some, they didn't say exactly where, but that they have had a tree fall in their yard. So the wind is strong enough in some cases to push over some trees. So there you go. We were able to show you, take you a little tour there. It's 1:37. We're going to take a little bit of a break here and come back sometime after 2 o'clock this morning. Meteorologist Scott Covert and Corrales Ortiz will be in. And I tell you what, if it looks like these storms get a little nasty before 2 o'clock, we'll pop back on here in central Arkansas.
Yeah, that might be hail right there. I mean, looking at that on the reflectivity,
Yep.
seeing purple and black. So Hamilton and Jesseville, you could see some dime to quarter size hail heading your direction. Let me take a look at the hail now product. It's still showing that, but I think that's going to be the best potential of seeing maybe dime to quarter size hail with any cell that I'm seeing across Arkansas. It's going to be that one in northern parts of Garland County. Or I shouldn't say in Arkansas, in central Arkansas. That's where the strongest cell is located with that potential of producing hail, dime size to maybe as large as quarters. And that's getting pretty close to Hot Springs Village. So if you're watching us in that area and you hear hail, let us know about it. We always tell you this number, but I'm going to show it to you just before we get off here. This is for the spring photos, but it's the same number, 501-376-1111. We love to get your reports. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood, and be safe. That's the main thing. If you have hail, you can go outside as long as it's safe. No lightning or anything, because we want you to be safe. But take a picture and send it our way, 501-376-1111. And I'm sure meteorologist Scott Covert and meteorologist Corrales Ortiz would love to post that for tomorrow morning's news, or today's morning's news.
This morning, it is Tuesday morning. It's 1:40. We're going to take a break. And again, if that stuff gets nasty towards central Arkansas, we'll break back in. But otherwise, we'll see you after 2 o'clock. Please get some sleep tonight, and we'll see you. All right.